Welcome back to the Dad Days, everyone. I'm Josh. I'm a stay-at-home dad creating content for more than dads. Today, I'm going to be talking about my cast iron collection. Let's get into it. So if you can't tell, I like cooking with cast iron. There's just something about it. There's something about using a pan that you know is going to outlive you, that you're going to be able to pass on to your kids or your family or to your friends. There's just not a lot of stuff built to last these days, and cast iron is one of the few things that you can use in your kitchen that is not only built to last, it's built to outlast you, and that's really cool. I have a video that shows you how to clean and re-season your cast iron. If that's what you're looking for, definitely check that out. I'm just going to be talking about my cast iron collection today, the pans that I have, and what I use them for. Let's go. So I'll start with this little skillet that I have. It came from my grandma on my mother's side, and I think she said that it was from her brother's. Her brother passed away, and it came from her brother's house, that it was left there, and she found it and knew that I liked cooking and old things and heritage pieces, so she passed it on to me, which just makes this thing even cooler. I mean, come on, that's such a cool story. And I cleaned it, I re-seasoned it. It's just a great size. I think from the research that I found, it's unbranded, but just based on this shape right here, this little ridge on the back, that it is a vintage lodge pan. Maybe if anybody sees this video and knows what they're talking about, drop a comment, let me know if I'm right. But this little ridge was made to sit on a trivet, and you know, people would use them back in the day on a wood stove or something like that. I use this for an egg, reheating leftovers, really anything that you would use for this. If you would use it in a bigger skillet, you can use it in a smaller skillet. It's kind of just about quantity. You can use it for the same things. It's just if you have a smaller quantity, you can grab the little skillet. But yeah, it's just a really cool piece. I love that it's in my collection. I'll have it forever and I'll pass it on. So really cool piece. My next piece is also really cool. It doesn't have as cool of a story, but it is a Wagner. You can see, hopefully you can see it there. I have restored it. I actually found it years ago. I have no idea what the going rate is right now in 2024 for a Wagner of this size. I don't think it's anything overly special other than it's a Wagner, but I found it at a yard sale over a decade ago, and I think it was, I got it for around 19 bucks. I think he had it for listed for maybe 22 or something, and 25, maybe I said 15, and he came back in 19. I think there was some sort of negotiations, but it wasn't crazy. Just typical yard sale negotiations. But I restored it. I use this is my most used skillet. I use this on a daily basis, whether it's eggs or reheating leftovers or sauteing potatoes or anything. I use it for anything, and it's fantastic. There's nothing like it. I wish I knew the story of its life before I got it at the yard sale, but either way, it's cool. I found it, brought it back to life, and it'll live on beyond me. So really cool piece as well. This is a Lodge skillet. You can see right here the imprint on the handle. I do like this feature that is on Lodges. I know there's other cast irons that are doing the same, but it's really hard to beat the price of a Lodge. I know you can buy some of these smaller companies that are making heritage cast iron pans, really high quality, great stuff. But when you can get a Lodge for $20 or $30, it's really hard to beat. Like, it's hard to justify paying up to $200-300 for a cast iron pan. If you're really into it, I think it is justified. If you love cast iron, if you can afford that, if it's within your budget and in your means, then by all means go for it. But I just think it's really hard to beat a Lodge skillet. This is just another skillet, same size as the Wagner. You can see they're about the same size, same depth. You know what, maybe the Wagner might just be a hair deeper, but they're about the same. You can see the difference in size of the standard skillet. This is what I would call a standard size cast iron skillet. This is a smaller one. You know, you can see the difference there. But either way, I have two of the standard size skillets. Sometimes one's just not enough. You're multitasking, you're doing multiple things on the oven. You just need two skillets. So that's what I have. I have a cast iron. You can see there's some oil residue on the top there. I have a cast iron Dutch oven. I use it for a little bit of everything, mainly bread, and my son loves popcorn, so I'm always using this to make homemade popcorn as well. But yeah, Dutch oven, can't go wrong with the Dutch oven. It is a Cabela's brand. I got it as a gift a long time ago. Same with this, the Lodge skillet. I believe it was a gift as well. Maybe I bought that. It's been a while. A lot of those pans I've had for a long time. So, but anyway, yeah, the Dutch oven, mainly bread and popcorn, but obviously you can use it for many other things. I do have another. I forgot I have even more. I do have. This is an enameled cast iron Dutch oven. This has a little more versatility. You can use this for stews, for soups, for even just boiling pasta or potatoes or anything, like stuff. Some things in the enameled cast iron that you wouldn't typically use for in the just regular cast iron Dutch oven, you can do about anything in the enameled cast iron. So also great to have. These are probably my most recent cast iron purchase. I have two baking sheets because one baking sheet just isn't enough. Um, they're fantastic. I feel like I never see anybody talking about cast iron baking sheets, but you can do anything on these. You can bake cookies, you can fry potatoes, you can make pizza. Instead of a pizza stone, if you wanted to be minimal, you could literally just use this. It works great. You know, check out my Instagram. I have pictures of pizza that I've baked on the cast iron baking sheet. You can do anything, really anything. They're awesome, and I think I'll link as much of the cast iron gear as I can in the description. I think that these were only $20 or $30 as well. They're Lodge brand, but they're great. They work awesome. They stack together. It takes up like no room whatsoever in your. The only downfall is, you know, depending who you are, they could be a little heavy compared to like a normal baking sheet, but they're totally worth it. You don't want to be using aluminum or Teflon, you know, get rid of that stuff. Go to cast iron and stainless steel, maybe carbon steel, but the cast iron baking sheets are great. Can't recommend them enough. We use them for just about everything. We bake in the oven, veggies, roasting veggies, anything. They're great. So highly recommend them. The last thing in my collection is this triangle scone shaped pan. I mean, you could get creative with it and use it for biscuits or desserts of some sort, but I probably wouldn't recommend it. It's kind of hard to clean. It's not a pan that we use very often. I don't even remember why we got it in the first place, but it's very hard to clean well, so we just don't gravitate towards using it. There's so many other the baking sheets or the skillets or whatever. You can do most anything that you want to do with those. But we have used it a couple times, and it's kind of a novelty, fun thing to do once in a blue moon, and it's not something we're going to get rid of now that we have it, but that's probably the extent of it. So yeah, that is my cast iron collection. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Please let me know in the comments what your collection looks like, what your favorite pan is, and I really appreciate you all watching. And as always, stay tuned for more Dad Days.